interesting study looking at hyperacusis in patients with fibromyalgia. Hyperacusis is defined as an increased sensitivity to hearing. And if you're not familiar, chronic fibromyalgia is a condition where patients have chronic widespread musculoskeletal pain. And it affects many Americans, especially females. And unfortunately, the mechanism behind it is not well understood. But what we do know is that patients with fibromyalgia not only have chronic pain, but they also frequently report increased sensitivity to a number of other sensory modalities, including light touch, paint, smells, and even sounds, as well as having chronic fatigue and then even insomnia. So this purpose of our study was to determine whether or not patients with fibromyalgia actually do have an increased sensitivity to sound in comparison to normal healthy controls. So the testing consisted of 3 components. The 3 components are the mechanical testing, the heat testing, and then the audiometry testing down here. Participants received pressure stimuli to their shins and hands, and they were asked to report their pain on a scale of 0 to 100 on a visual analog scale. So 0 is no pain at all, and then 100 is the most intense pain imaginable. Now, pressure was increased consistently until about a 50% was reached for the participant, and the similar testing occurred with the heat testing as well. So that 0 out of 100 scale, and temperature was increased consistently. Finally, for the last portion, the audiometry testing, this part had 2 aspects. It had a hearing test, which was done initially. Patients were blindfolded and earplugs were inserted to decrease distractions. And a hearing test was done to ensure that patients had a baseline level of hearing and no hearing impairment. Now, for once they passed that portion, then they moved on to a hearing sensitivity test, and in that portion, sounds are played in both ears simultaneously, increase and lower volumes, and participants were asked to rate the sounds on the same scale as the pain. However, sound was the factor in this one. So a 0 was no sound at all, and then 100 was the most intense sound imaginable. And with the goal of consistently having ratings in an intense, mild, and then moderate ranges. So for this study, we were able to currently have recruited 21 female participants, 13 healthy controls, and 8 fibromyalgia. And what we have found, if we look over here on the graph, so this is the graph for pressure pain sensitivity and heat pain sensitivity, and then down here we have the loudness sensitivity. So gray is the fibromyalgia participants, black is the healthy controls, and what we noticed is that participants with fibromyalgia had a significantly increased sensitivity to not only pressure and heat, but also sound as well. And what that means is that when pressure and heat were applied, they required significantly less as compared to a normal control. And then the same thing goes with loudness. So patients with fibromyalgia consistently rated lower sounds as higher intensity in comparison to those with fibromyalgia. So overall, what we have found so far is that patients with fibromyalgia not only have a hypersensitivity to painful stimuli, so the heat and the pressure, they also have an increased sensitivity to non-painful stimuli, such as sound. And so this contributes to the idea that chronic pain and those with fibromyalgia is their complaints are not just somatic in nature, but in fact due to a dysfunction in the central nervous system that really alters their perception of the world around them.
For more information about our research studies or how to participate, please give us a call at 352-265-8901 or email us at painresearch@medicine.ufl.edu.